Yeah. Before we next, I'm glad to know that every one of us could have an alternative platform to learn PLS right now, since Professor Marco have mentioned, can go through several articles, journals, book, PLS Academy. So plus, don't forget, this include the 50% discount given by the PLS Academy. If you really want to learn stuff, remember the 15% discount. Don't worry, the slide will be given later. So there's this code for you to use for this PLS Academy. And this is a very great opportunity. So last but not least, this will be an interesting question to all of us. And I will direct this question to Prof. Ramaya. Many students seem to use SmartPLS and various techniques without having a clear understanding on the software and the techniques. Could you point out some common mistakes and provide recommendation for future use? So, Prof, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jacky. I think I totally agree that one of the basic problems in many research candidates is the weak command of research method. I think Prof. Christian Ringler was also echoed the same understanding. You need to design first. Okay, theory and literature is important. Analytical tools that a candidate select should be driven by the research questions and the design of the study, not selected upfront. There is no one-size-fits-all solution here, although it happens in many cases. The choice should be not only be driven by the ease of use, but also other factors taken together, supervisors, examiners, system in the university. Okay, so what I'll be touching on in the next few slides is some of the mistakes many students are still doing, although the software is so easy to use. The first one is when we come to measurement. Let's say we have manufacturing performance here with 4 indicators, and you have item here, unit cost, which has a loading of 0.225. What will you do? Okay, the spontaneous answer will be you delete that item. Okay, so who's the researcher here now? Is the software or you? Okay, this is one of the problems we see with many research candidates. The basic understanding is not clear. So we have to next, please. We have two kinds of measurement model. One is reflective, the other one is formative. The reflective one is where the construct scores actually influence the indicators. The second one we have on the right, which is the formative measurement. The indicator scores will influence the construct score. Next. So in 2012, if you see the same measurement that I showed you earlier, manufacturing performance was reflective. And now in this paper by Peng and Lai, they actually model manufacturing performance as formative. So we have 4 items now forming the variable called manufacturing performance. So one of the requirements for validation of this formative measurement is this analysis called redundancy analysis. You have to collect this item called the global item. We can also collect multiple items. If you want to know more about the single item versus multiple item, you can look at Chia et al. 2018 paper, International Journal of Contemporary Hospitality Management. So one of the analyses you need to do is you have to first regress your formative measurement with the global item, and you should get a value of 0.7 and above to show that the instrument is actually working. Next, please. The other issue we have is uni versus multidimensional measures. Unidimensional is on the left-hand side. You have knowledge sharing, which is measured by 8 items. And we also have the same variable called knowledge sharing on the right-hand side with 4 dimensions and 26 indicators. Okay, what happens with many research candidates, right? When they run your SmartPLS program, they take these 26 items and lump them into one construct. So it becomes a unidimensional construct. So what will happen is many of the items will get deleted. Okay, this is totally incorrect. Okay, so next. For higher order construct, the first requirement is I'm also not a big fan of higher order constructs. I've only written 1 paper so far on higher order construct. One of the requirements is you must understand that there must be some measurement theory and literature to support that particular variable can be combined as a higher order factor. So here we have a second order factor with 3 first order dimensions, FO1, FO2, and FO3. Okay, the level of abstraction increases from the item to the first order factor to the second order factor. Next, please. Okay. Some of the reasons given in the literature, the first one is by Hare et al. In 2014. One of the main reasons is to make the model more parsimonious and easy to grasp. The second reason why we do a high order factor is to reduce collinearity. Next, please. Okay, the next choice you have is once you have decided to do a second order model, we have to decide whether we want to use which type of second order model. We have this type 1, type 2, type 3, and type 4. The one very popular now is type 2. Okay? Although previously we were using type 1, which is reflective. Now many people are moving to reflective formative. Next, please. Type 3 and type 4, you don't see this very regularly in the literature. Next, please. How to test? Okay, people have still stuck with the repeater indicators approach. Okay, repeater indicators approach works very well if you have reflective. If you have reflective formative, then you will have slight problem. So that's why you have to actually look at the changes in the literature from 2012, the joint two-stage approach, up to now in 2019. We have the improved extended repeater indicators approach. Next, please. Okay, this is how you typically draw the SmartPLS model for a second order repeater indicator. Next, please. This is joint two stage, where first stage will be the repeater indicator, and then when you move to the next stage, the dimension becomes item in the next stage. Next, please. The extended repeater indicators approach developed by Becker et al. You don't do repeater indicator. What you do is you draw them directly, and then in the second stage, the latent variable scores will become indicators for the dependent variable. Next, please. Okay, the hybrid approach, one of the problems in hybrid approach is this is repeater indicator, but you don't repeat the same items on the second order factor. You pick and choose. One of the problem is which item to pick. If you see here, we have picked item 2, item 5, and items 8. Okay, item 2, item 5, and item 8. Huh? So why did you pick item 2, item 5, or item 8? That will be the question. Next, please. Okay, this is the latest improved extended repeater indicators approach, where in the first stage, you also draw an arrow from your exogenous construct to the dimensions of your second order construct. Save the latent variable score, move to the next second stage, and then they become indicators in the second stage. So this is how improved extended repeater indicator approach works. Next, please. Okay, what are the problems you see in second order modeling is, the number one is, sometimes I see candidates doing second order models. There's no theoretical reasoning. For example, we have a critical success factor. This was a PhD student who came to Viva. She has training, top management support, budget has second order formative for critical success factor. Critical success factors is actually only a label that you use to write your literature review. So the first factor for critical success factor is your top management support, then you move to training and so on. The other testing issues that you face with second order models are many candidates only assess the first order measurement quality. The second order measurement quality, they don't show because sometimes the loadings are very low. The second issue is in SmartPLS, when you do repeater indicator, you get an AVE-CR on the second order factor, but you should not be reporting that AVE-CR. You should be calculating manually, or you can move to the second stage where you get it directly. The third issue is when you write hypothesis to link your second order factor and your dimensions. In this model that we have here, the only structural model that we are testing is between quality and satisfaction. Number 4 is when they develop a model like this second order, they test the first order and also the second order. This should not be done. If you want to test them as a second order, you only have quality against satisfaction. If you want to test them directly, then you remove the second order factor called quality. You have 3 arrows going directly to satisfaction. Okay, the last one is when we do formative measurement, one of the requirements is to do redundancy analysis. Okay, redundancy analysis. There are also some who say this is not required, but if you can see the paper by Sasted et al. 2019, they have actually shown in second order factor, which is formative, they also did redundancy analysis. Next, please. Okay, multi-group analysis is another advanced models that normally tested by many PhD students. Here we have 7 path relationships in the model. And what we are arguing is gender moderates all the 7 relationships. So we are arguing AC to JS is different for male compared to female. JS to SI is also different for male to female. Okay, next please. So when we develop models like this, there must be a justification. MGA is actually a special case of moderation analysis. So you must write the hypothesis saying the relationship is stronger for which group. Okay. For the analysis issues, we have sample size. Sometimes we have male and female. Male we have 90%, female only 10%. Then there's no point of testing. Okay, too small a sample size. Huh? You have only one part which is moderated, but you still want to carry on with a MGA analysis. Okay. The third one is some candidates have continuous moderators, but they then categorize the moderators into categories: low, moderate, high, or low and higher. That's also not recommended. The fourth one is the moderator has more than 2 groups. When you go into more than 2 groups, you run into a problem of getting the model to work. The last one is skipping invariance analysis. So when we do MGA, we have to follow the steps on the right, which is step 1, you have to pass configure invariance. Step 2, you have to pass compositional invariance. And in step 3, you have to look at the means, are they equal, mean and variance, are they equal? Okay. If you pass step 1 and step 2, then you can compare the model. If you pass step 3, you can actually pull the data. So those are some of the things. But what happens is candidates choose the shortcut method. They skip the invariance, run both models separately, download Excel template that compares data from one group with the other. That's a shortcut way, not the correct way. Okay, Jacky, I already saw the sign.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Well, time is an issue, but then still a great clear explanation. I guess that students should take note on all those points. That's all for the topic for today. Thank you, Professor, for all your speeches. Now we will move on to the Q&A session next. Okay, we have gathered some interesting questions to ask the speakers, okay? Especially all these are from participants, but we cannot, ask you guys all the questions because time constraint. Therefore, if you have further questions to ask, you can actually drop your message or information at the PLS forum or the MySEM Facebook group. You can drop your information there, PLS forum or MySEM. Okay, so or PLS Espanol also, do not forget that. So you can drop your information there. We can try to accommodate and try to answer your questions. But again, due to time constraint, we will select a few and I will read out soon for the question. So the first question is directed to Professor Ramaya. Okay, there are students mentioned that I'm in the accounting field and I use PLS-SEM. But then when I submit to a journal, which is accounting journal, my paper get rejected because I use PLS-SEM and it is in accounting field. So what is your advice to student? I give you 1 minute to answer that. Prof. Ramaya?
Okay. Sometimes it's the editor's preference. Okay, but you can find papers which are written in accounting using PLS-SEM. I think Christian Nitzel is working on accounting papers. You may want to refer to papers by Nitzel. Yeah, Jacky.
Yeah, great, great answer. I love it. Sweet and short. Sweet and short. Now to Professor Xiao. This is from student. I am in IS field researcher. I'm an IS field researcher. Do you think IS researchers have accepted PLS-SEM as the statistical technique to do IS research? To Prof. Xiao, 1 minute.
Okay, I posted a message about PLS and the CB-SEMs. And even though some editors and dislike the PLS-SEM, but in the IS you see the many top journals that still accept the PLS-SEM, such as the Mass Quarterly and so on. And but in fact, some of the editors they prefer the mixed method, combine the PLS-SEM with others. So of course we know that many the journal editor or editor-in-chief they have their preference, but you still can find many journal can submit to, such as we have a special issue with the Macau in the internet research. And now I'm doing the special issue in the IMDS. These are the IS journals. And then in the future, another IS journals that promise to give us special issues that increase the more capacity. And of course, we love to accept the more advanced to extend. For example, that 20 seconds. A few days ago, our paper was accepted. We use the PLS predictor. The Macau will be no more. Then there's the applications, the new applications, how to use the PLS predictor to do the model comparison. Except the Macau, to our best, I work with the Professor Ray. Ray is a previous predictor expert. We write one and get accepted in the IS journals. So I encourage the more authors, more research to use the PLS-SEM to publish more. Thank you.
Okay, great, great answer. So now the next question is to Professor Christian. So this question is PLS-SEM suitable for skill development? Yeah, that's the question. It's for skill development. Yeah.
I mean, it's just a technical means, and when it comes to the scales and the constructs you use, it's usually a different research question you need to answer. It's basically on conceptual grounds, and you do some previous analysis that you do for establishing and creating the constructs and the measurement models. And what we usually recommend is to not tell two stories in one paper, which means you either focus on establishing a certain construct and its measurement, or you're assessing a structural, or you're developing and assessing a structural equation model. So it's either the one or the other, and you should usually not mix both stories in one paper, because then it's getting mixed up and you don't get the one or the other story straight. To make it crystal clear when it comes to scale developing papers, I conducted this once or twice. This is usually a journey of 3 to 4 years. And in the last one, we had to conduct 6 different studies, collecting new data. And it took 4 rounds and do it over and over again to finally develop a single scale in this paper. So the recommendation is when you work in structural equation modeling, usually use established scales, established measurement models, and then go into further analysis.
Okay, great. Sweet and short. Now, the final questions to Professor Marco. What about longitudinal study in PLS-SEM? Someone just asked. Yeah, the floor is yours.
That's a good one. For everyone that's like an insider, because Jacky and I discussed this just before the seminar. Yeah, we are aware that this is a pressing topic for all users of PLS, just like multi-level modeling. But the thing is, it's actually more complicated than you would expect. There are studies that have actually engaged in longitudinal data analysis using PLS, published in, for example, MIS Quarterly. And there's also a kind of a guiding article or guideline article published in IMDS by Roma. In case you're interested, you can just drop me an email and I can direct you to the corresponding paper. But the thing is, this is helpful to get like a proxy idea of longitudinal data analysis, but to really include like time variant error terms, it's way more complicated than that. Just to give you an idea, Christian, some fellow colleagues from Denmark and we worked on this now for a couple of years really, and we have not managed to solve the puzzle. Yeah? So we are continuing doing this, but like states as of today, we can't reliably analyze longitudinal data using PLS. Yeah, but we are working on it.
Okay, great. I hope that Christian will not be offended. Okay, then thank you for all the inputs. To all the professor, thank you for all the inputs. Now, I would like to invite the representative of Emerald Publishing, Mr. William Loh, to share Emerald resources with us. As a researcher and students, it is important that we know how to utilize the online resources to facilitate our research progress and learning process. Mr. William, you may take over now.
Right, thank you to our moderator. Just unmute myself, right? PLS-SEM in Emerald. Thank you. Good day to everyone. I'm William from Emerald Publishing, and as Dr. Jacky was saying, I shall be sharing some Emerald resources regarding about PLS-SEM. Next. Before we begin, allow me to just introduce Emerald Publishing and our recent updates on our portfolio. We have tried a 10 e-journal subscription model, over 52 open access journal, and we are also championing our open research platform that aligning with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, UN SDGs. We have developed 6 gateways to support open research in the topic of digital world, education and learning, healthy lives, responsible management, sustainable cities, and also sustainable food systems. Besides that, we also have more than 3,000 ebooks, over 2,005 cases, and our latest product, Expert Briefing. Expert Briefing is powered by Oxford Analytica, providing insights and analysis on geopolitical issues and global macroeconomy. We have been seeing questions from the floor. What are the journals that support PLS-SEM, or sample questions? What journals that have published PLS-SEM before? The most recent one taken into account, let's say this month itself, this month, June 2020. These are some of the journals that I can get from our database. Example, Journal of Agriculture Business in Developing and Emerging Economies. One of the paper published last 3 days ago on 23rd June 2020. Another one which is in the Journal of Intellectual Capital. So these are some of the journals that have published PLS-SEM. Quickly go through the others. I have a few more to share. Example would be International Journal of Productivity and Performance Management, which is under the HR, Learning and Organization Studies. The other one, which is Does It Matter Where to Run? Intentions to participate in Destination Marathon. I actually want to take this to congratulate to our moderator, Dr. Jacky, and his team of co-authors as well, that actually got this published in this month, accepted and published in this month, 19 June, in Asia Pacific Journal of Marketing and Logistics itself. So what else? There are quite a number of them. I really couldn't list all of them, but these are some in examples that have more than one paper accepted in a journal in this month alone. Examples: Information Technology and People, which is part of information and knowledge management. There are 2 papers that published this month, and 3 papers about PLS using PLS methods that published in Journal of Islamic Marketing as well, which is under the marketing portfolio. So many more. Example, information and computer security, which is under information and knowledge management. We also have tourism review, International Journal of Manpower, and marketing intelligence and planning as well, which is all in this month alone. There are so many more. I would go forward with some familiar names, names that names and faces of people that you are seeing right now. We have Prof. Christian, Prof. Marco, Prof. Siang in one of the paper published together last year, June, in the Internet Research, and also Prof. Siang and Prof. Marco also published another paper in the same Internet Research as well. Right. Others familiar names, of course, definitely you can't run away from Prof. Christian and Prof. Marco as well, which is another paper in industrial management and data systems. The other one, which is European Journal of Marketing, you have seen that in one of the slides earlier when both Prof. Christian and Prof. Marco was actually presenting. We have Prof. Ramaya together with Prof. Marco and Christian in the International Journal of Contemporary Hospitality Management in 2018, and some others like Dr. Mumtaz, yes, and Dr. Hiram, Dr. Jayson Cham, Dr. Jacky Cheah, and also Dr. Lim, which is this year, 20 February 2020, compulsive buying of branded apparel is antecedents and the mediating role of brand attachment, which is in Asia Pacific Journal of Marketing and Logistics. These are just a few of them. Nevertheless, doing some promotional talk. Yes, PLS-SEM is available with Emerald. So talk to your friendly librarian and Emerald staff for subscriptions. My last slides would be on here. We have subscription model to universities, institutes to subscribe to our package, example, our eJournal Premier, management eJournal portfolio, and also our specialist portfolio. Besides that, some would also subscribe to our subject specifics, example, business and management, HR learning organizations, and even accounting and finance. But if there are independent researchers here today and you are interested, we also have individual journals under a minimal fee to subscribe. Normally, we're actually working that with on the department budgets, or even some with own pocket money as well. So it's quite affordable under MORO for the individual journals too. We also have a purchase model for our ebooks. It's a pick and choose model. You can pick from 50 to 75 to 100 books at a very affordable price. Last but not least, I just want to say thank you to the organizing partners. Before I move on, just wanted to share that we in MORO, we celebrate and we honor the research community with our awards. One of the example, Literati Award 2020. This is our new logo for this year, Awards for Excellence, and also Real Impact Awards 2022. I would also like to highlight that a number of MORO Literati Awards are contributed from PLS users in various disciplinary examples from marketing, management, organizational behavior, tourism and hospitality, and others as well. Well, in regards to Literati Awards 2020, a lot of us can't wait for the announcement and for the winner list. We shall be, hopefully we shall be informing this year awards by end of July, or if not, by August this year. So stay tuned for our updates on Literati Awards. With that, back to you, Dr. Jacky.
Great. Thank you, Mr. William, for your presentation. Before we conclude, I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Mumtaz Ali Memon from NUST Islamabad, Pakistan, to give a concluding remarks. Dr. Mumtaz, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Dr. Jacky, and it was a wonderful discussion. A lot of things to learn, and a lot of things are very excited, and we are waiting. Next, please. So I'm going to discuss, not discuss, but it's a brief overview of MySEM, the journey of MySEM. What we call is as a discussion continues. Next, please. We met in 2015 in Kuching, and we discussed how we can contribute back to the society. What things we can be done in order to help the research community in Malaysia and abroad. We started working on workshops, writing books and publications. And in 2016, we launched our Facebook page, MySEM Facebook page. The seed has become now a giant tree. Currently, it has more than 5,000 structural equation modeling users and experts from all over the world. And in 2016, we also launched our first SmartPLS book, which provides the step-by-step illustration on how to conduct structural equation modeling using SmartPLS 3.0. In 2017, the good news, two good news is in that year, it's a JSEM, Journal of Applied Structural Equation Modeling, and SESM 2017. I'll be discussing later about the JSEM in detail, but the SESM was a wonderful event, a mega event organized by MySEM with the support of Sarawak Research Society. It was highly appreciated by the participants for its pre-conference workshops, keynote speeches, and post-conference seminars and publications. And we also arranged some informal networking sessions before, during, and after the conference. So it was an excellent session. 2018 was also a fruitful year. We launched the second edition of our book. Again, we included the recent developments in SmartPLS 3.0 and the quantitative research methods. So using the step-by-step approach. Another good news was the JMP, the Journal of Marketing Advances and Practices. We launched because we found that there is a need of a platform for the market researchers. So it's a good platform for those who want to submit their marketing related papers. JMAP can be a very good avenue to submit your papers. And then 2019, another mega event, having Professor Christian Ringel, Professor Marco, Professor Enrico, Professor Amaya in International Symposium of Applied Structural Equation Modeling and Related Methods in Malacca. Another wonderful event for its pre-conference workshops, keynote speeches, and post-conferences activities. It was highly appreciated by community all around the world. And they're supposed to be SESM 2020 in Indonesia, but unfortunately, because of COVID-19, we couldn't manage it, so we postponed it. But hopefully soon, once the things settle down, we will be announcing soon. But I'm glad that today, because of this forum, PLS online forum, we are again together and we are discussing something very interesting. Next, please. While doing all these activities, we met several gurus, the top researchers, the experts in statistical analysis and structural equation modeling, methods experts. We not only learn from them, discuss with them, but we also publish with them, including Professor Marcos Asted, Professor Christian Ringel, Professor Ramaya, Professor Khalid Shamuli, and so many other scholars all around the world. That testifies that our commitment towards the statistical analysis, especially to structural equation modeling, and there are so many other activities we have collaboratively done. Next, please. So let me give a brief overview of Journal of Applied Structural Equation Modeling. It is one of the product of Sarawak Research Society, and it's an international journal. Widely accepted by the international community, and it has a dedicated website, a dedicated international advisory board. Next, please. If you can see the website is a very comprehensive website. It provides the comprehensive guidelines for the submissions. It provides the ethical guidelines. It provides all the issues we have published so far, and it's open access. Anybody can anytime can download and can submit their papers throughout the year. But of course, we publish this journal twice in a year, January and July to every year. So your submissions are most welcome. Currently, the journal is indexed in Electronic Journal Library. It's also indexed in Directory of Open Access Journals. But currently it's under review at Scopus. So we are waiting that soon we will be having a very good news and we'll be sharing. It will be an honor to share with you very soon, hopefully. Next, please. Professor Ramaya, Associate Professor Dr. Hiram Ting are the chief editors, and myself, Dr. Jacky, and Dr. Francis, we are on the managing side. But we have an international advisory board. I'll be introducing them in the next slide. Next slide, please. Imagine when you have such kind of international advisory board, having Professor Joseph Hare, Professor Christopher Ringel, Professor Marcus Hasted, Professor Nate Cock, Professor Sumaya Ray, Professor Jose Roldan, and Professor Shao. That makes this journal internationally acceptable. That's why we have receiving the papers from many countries all around the world, and the quality papers. Next, please. Although you can see that there are not so many publications, so many papers, it's only 35. This is just because of our rigorous review process. We don't compromise on quality. We have only 22% acceptance rate. Throughout these 5 years, we have received 140 plus papers, but only 35 papers managed to publish because of the quality purpose. It's always a blind review, and we don't compromise on the quality. But 6 issues so far, but hopefully the 7th issue is coming soon in the July 1st. So please stay tuned. We have so many citations, 169 plus, but the majority of the citations are coming from the papers published in the top quality journals, Web of Science and Scopus Index journals. It's again the testifying that the journal is widely accepted by the international community all around the world. Next, please. If we check about the reach, so far, only on ResearchGate, we have noticed that more than 29,000 times the papers are downloaded. Those papers who published in Journal of Applied Structural Equation Modeling. Again, another confirmation that the audience, the research community, international research community, not only reading the paper, but they are citing, and it is reachable to each and every person all over the world. Next, please. And then not to mention that the which country authors belongs to. We have received publication from more than 23 countries, but of course the papers published comes from these 10 countries, including Nigeria, US, Indonesia, Pakistan, Malaysia, Germany, Canada, India, Puerto Rico, and China. So hope in the latest issue which we are going to publish, there are more countries. They are also submitted their papers and they accepted for publication. So soon the next issue is going to be out. Next, please. So now the question is, what's next? This is a $1 million question actually. We are up to under several activities. These are the 3 major activities we are planning, but these are not limited to. So the first activity is we want Jayson to be one of the leading journal in social sciences methods journals. We believe it will be very soon. The reason is because of our rigorous process, because of our international advisory board, because of our commitment towards Jayson. And then second, we will continue organizing such kind of events, forums, workshops, seminars for the to help the structural equation modeling community in Malaysia and all over the world. Last but not the least, I will be continuing sharing our knowledge and experience through video tutorials, because some of the people, some of the researchers, they used to learn on their own pace and convenience. So having video tutorials can provide a good platform for them to not only to learn, but learn on their own pace and convenience. Taking this opportunity, I would like to thank the MySEM admins, including Professor Ramaya, Dr. Jacky Cheah, Dr. Hiram, Dr. Francis, Dr. Jayson, and all others for their continuous commitments to making this MySEM journey as a success. I'm also grateful of Associate Professor Dr. Hiram Ting. A special thanks to Dr. Hiram for his visionary leadership, for guiding us always, for making this journey a memorable journey. And last but not the least, our partners, SmartPLS, RSF, Sarawak Research Society, Emerald Publications for their continuous support to us. Thank you so much. That's all, Jacky.
Thank you, Mumtaz, for your wonderful input. Dear participants, I believe we have learned about the current advancement in PLS-SEM, such as PLS Predict, model selection criteria, as well as CV part from the speakers. We also learned about the applications of PLS-SEM and the way to address some of the common problems in our research. We are also excited about the new version of SmartPLS software. We are very anxious about it. The support given to us to join PLS Academic, and all the future plans from MySEM. I believe this forum has been a fruitful event to all of us. With that, on behalf of Organizing Committee from Sarawak Research Society and MySEM, I would like to thank all our speakers for their time and effort to share their knowledge and experience with us. I would also like to thank all the participants for joining this event. I must also make mention that your participation and donation to support COVID-19 relief and the related humanitarian effort have made this event more meaningful and a memorable one. We hope to see you again, whether online or in a physical conference in the near future. Any updates about this forum, we will provide in MySEM Facebook group. Please stay safe and take care. Thank you. Terima kasih. Dankeschön. Obrigado. Xie xie. Nanri. Kamsahamnida. That's it.